Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. We're doing another Red Zone no item challenge today. Probably gonna focus on the Dragon Ball Hero Red Zone at the moment. There's still a couple of other teams I do have to finish doing, you know, various runs on the Wicked Bloodline Red Zone and some of these other Red Zones and stuff. But since the Dragon Ball Heroes Red Zone is time limited, only until I believe December 6th, I do want to go ahead and get these done with a lot of teams. And this is a good, you know, excuse for me to use some teams I haven't been using recently, like Cooler's team. For me, whatever team I'm using at the time is usually just the team that's getting new characters to it. It's not any deeper than that. And of course, Cooler's team, you know, hasn't really been many buffs, you know, for like Wicked Bloodline and stuff like that. So this first fight against Golden Cooler, I actually did lose several times in a couple of these fights, but you know, it is good using this Cooler team because it is ridiculously powerful. My losses were just like, you know, easy STR Cooler in, you know, the second slot in turn 2, and then he just gets like one shot, right? Because easy STR Cooler is very good with his support, and he does defensive stack as well. But I mean, these are relatively fast fights, so you know, both STR Coolers, LR Final Form Cooler, and Easy STR Cooler can be pretty much completely one-shot, even in these stages. Because it's like Final Form Cooler, I certainly do not think he's like a glass cannon. It's so crazy. I mean, there's a group like that thinks like STR Final Form Cooler is like undisputed best unit in the game, unparalleled god. But it's like he can get slapped up, right? Now, it's not as often as, you know, people who don't like Final Form Cooler will pretend. But, I mean, you know, you can just get bad luck and he gets turned into dust. It can happen, you know, just like Tech Vegito Blue or something like that. It's like this Final Form Cooler is just like a way better example, like way better version of that. Right, but we know what happens. Final Form Cooler decides, I'm going to quadruple super on this turn, and the enemy is fucked, right? Like, let's be real. Now, Cooler, you know, certainly could be a tough fight here. Because he's tech in this final phase, though, that allows us to use the int EZA LR Metal Cooler army, which really buffs LR Metal Cooler a lot. They make LR Metal Cooler look way better, so that's just going to allow us to do insane damage. You know what's funny, too, is that these Red Zone bosses are tough, these Heroes bosses, but I don't think that they're tough enough to, like, one-shot Metal Cooler, LR Metal Cooler, the physical one, to get our revive. I don't believe we do not get the revive in this entire video in all 3 stages, right? And then, you know, we have a lot of other options, you know, that are available to us. But you guys can sort of see, right? Like, we come in, you know, a bunch of these are just LRs who do insane amounts of damage. The other good thing is that LR Metal Cooler is a 200% leader to just the entire Wicked Bloodline team. So it's just like we just wash away. Like, we have so much health, so much stats. You know, it just shows a real 200% team, like Metal Cooler's team here, compared to, like, the Heroes team. Like, you just have so much more leeway with these way stronger characters, right? It's crazy. Alright guys, now we're moving on to the second fight against Fu. Now, Fu can actually be fairly tricky. It just depends on what the RNG is going to be like, right? Because in my experience, Fu can be incredibly frustrating. He can just, he'll randomly seal 1, 2, or 3 characters, once we get to his final phase. And, I mean, if he seals the entire rotation, this fight against Fu with other teams, like, I've just been stuck in this fight. I think I was using Majin Vegeta's team, and it just felt like this fight just went on forever, because he just seals, if he seals every character, there's nothing you could do, right? It's not like you're, unless you're rocking a counter character, like, you're not going to be doing that much damage to Fu, if he just decides to seal everything you've got. I decided to use AGL Metal Cooler here. AGL Metal Cooler, I just find him to be a very nice unit to use with this team, just very strong, right? I mean, boring, right? Offense and defense, right? With no real special utility or anything like that. But he works rather well. See, that's what I'm talking about. Look at that. LR Metal Cooler eats a super attack type disadvantage. It only takes 350, right? Like, and it's like, before you know it, like, we're just healing so much right back. It's just crazy. But while Fu can be annoying, it's just a matter of, like, how annoying is he going to be, right? How many of our characters are going to get sealed? What risks am I going to take? How slowly is the fight going to go on? I feel like this fight might go a bit slow because of the fact that we're just, again, going to be getting sealed constantly. But for the most part, we can just completely obliterate this guy, right? Like, when we're able to get our shots. LR Golden Frieza, of course, is not going to take any damage. TUR Golden Frieza. The thing that's funny is LR Golden Frieza, the current... Okay, so, like, if we look at how content has sort of been, like, at the start of the year, the Red Zone stages were a little longer. Now, the recent Red Zone stages are a bit shorter. The Wicked Bloodline and the Hero Red Zone, which makes LR Golden Frieza even better, right? Like, maybe it's a little bit difficult to activate his full passive, but it means he's got the higher damage reduction for most of the fight, which, again, just means he's not going to get touched very much. There was Final Form Cooler getting sealed, which, is going to cause the fight to go on longer, but it's not like Fu can do much to us either. Alright guys, now we're moving on to the final fight, Cumber. Now, Cumber is a legitimate fight. This is a legitimate threat, no doubt about it. Oh yeah, great opening rotation here. This opening, boss, though, is nothing meaningful. Cumber can, debuff us and stun us when he super attacks. But nothing really too scary with this base Cumber, right? Like, he's not really a big deal. The second phase, though, can be tricky here and there. The phase, of course, we're talking about is the AGL Great Ape phase that Cumber has. Because he does the AoE normal attacks, which LR Final Form Cooler and EZA Cooler, they will get obliterated by this Cumber, depending upon what happens, right? Now, I have noticed, again, I'm not really too sure if Cumber is increasing his damage in his Super Saiyan form or in his base form yet. Like the first phase and the last phase, I don't know. But I know for sure that Great Ape Cumber increases his power when he super attacks. So his Great Ape AoEs will do a lot more damage after Cumber supers. So it's like how annoying this fight will be would depend upon, like, where does Easy STR Cooler pop in? Like, is he going to get slapped up by, you know, this Great Ape's AoEs. You know, is Final Form Cooler not going to be able to super attack a bunch, right? Look at this turn, right? What is he doing? 4 AoEs right here? I mean, we have a beautiful rotation where he can't do anything to us, right? With LR Golden Frieza, LR Metal Cooler, and Tech Golden Frieza. But, like, imagine if we had both SDR Coolers right here, we probably would die on this turn. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Because it's like, easy SDR Cooler, you know, the longer the fight, the better he is going to be, right? And same with Final Form Cooler. But I mean, they're still strong regardless. So I feel like this is sort of the problematic phase right here. Once we get through this, we're fine because, again, Cumber's final phase, dude, he's physical, which means Final Form Cooler can I mean, he could probably finish Cumber off in 1 turn. I'm sure, right? I'm curious. Let's see how much damage the Great Ape AoE does right here against Final Form Cooler. Double digits. Nah, that's impressive. Yeah. I mean, the thing with Final Form Cooler is, you know, you get a bunch of attacks in, he starts building up that passive of his, and he can cook. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Maybe Final Form Cooler would take a bit of damage after, if Cumber would super attack, right? But, like, look, this is what Final Form Cooler does, man. Again, I think that there's only 3 characters who are worthy of being in the discussion for best unit in the game right now. I think LR Vegeta and Trunks is the best unit in the game. I think Carnival Goku's too, but he's just a worse version of Vegeta and Trunks, I feel. And then Final Form Cooler, I think, is also... Like, you could make a case. Final Form Cooler's #1. I think he is good enough to make that case for, but he can have a bad turn and get crushed as well. That is definitely something that can happen. So, let me know what you guys think of the 200% Wicked Bloodline team, LR Metal Cooler's team. Finishing up the Heroes Red Zone. Again, I will try and get this done with all of the various 200% teams before this event goes away. Again, let me know what you guys think. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.